Hello, I'm Begüm Kut. I'm an SLTEP alumni member. Today I'm going to interview Deniz Kurtoğlu Eken. But she doesn't know the questions by the way. Deniz hocam, welcome.
Hello, Begüm.
Hello. Thank you very much for accepting the interview. First of all, I'd like to learn about your teacher training story. Can you tell us about that? How and when did you start teacher training, and how has it developed?
Okay. Wow. It's been a long time since I talked about when I started teacher training, but what I remember is that I wanted it very much. And I was in the States at the time doing my master's degree, but also working at Bilkent. And I'd asked for leave from the school. I went on a Fulbright MA program. And as I was sort of finishing my MA program there, I got a letter from the university. Well, we were corresponding in terms of what I would do when I would go back. And I actually said I want to become a teacher trainer then. And then they said, okay, well, that would be very nice, but maybe you can start as a head of teaching unit initially and then become a trainer. I said, no, I don't want to be a head of teaching unit. And then when I got back, I actually continued with teaching normally at Bilkent. And then that year, I gave a lot of workshops. I carried out observations jointly with experienced teacher trainers. So it was like an induction. And then the following year, I applied and started working as a teacher trainer. So we're talking about 1992, 3.
Okay, and after, do you remember your first teacher trainer? Your first teacher trainer?
My first teacher trainer. Well, at Bilkent, there was Oya Başaran, who helped me a lot with my supervision. I mean, she supervised me, although there were many other colleagues as well. But then when I think about it, in terms of first teacher trainer, because you get influenced, by people in terms of when, like, you're doing your master's program as well. Maybe that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to be a teacher trainer, because I got influenced, I got inspired by, what they were doing as lecturers, as professors, more from a teacher training point of view, because our subject was teaching ELT. So I would probably include one of my professors at the time, Charles Parrish, who used to work at Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. He gave me a lot of inspiration and a lot of support.
Right, thank you very much. As a teacher trainer, how would you define challenge and change in a trainer's professional development cycle? According to you, what is challenge, what is change for a teacher trainer?
Okay, it's interesting that you mentioned those concepts together. They actually do go together. It's a nice way to look at it. I mean, if I look at my own sort of training, and I've never been away from it for several decades. Well, several decades. That makes me really old. No, well, probably about 2 decades. But if I look at my own training and how I cannot give up challenging myself. And I cannot give up taking up new opportunities, things that I haven't tried before in my training, new programs, new ways of doing things, etc. And the more I do that, the more I grow. And I think one of the, not dangers, but things that a trainer needs to be careful with is actually that. In other words, not being settled down too much, not staying in the comfort zone, and continually challenging themselves with new or alternative opportunities. And that is very closely related to change, because when you do that, you're changing in a positive way. And even if you do have failures from time to time, I think it's worth taking risks in terms of trying out new things.
Right, okay, thank you very much. So, metaphorically speaking, if you created a menu as the cook of your professional life, how would you design it? Like, think about starters, maybe main course and desserts, something like that.
About my
your professional life, going from the beginning till now, till present time. So you're cooking it and you're developing a menu for it. So, for example, when I thought about mine, I thought when I started teaching, Christina was my first teacher trainer, and I was very inspired by her. So I said, starters, Christina soup. What did she put in the soup? She put the workshops, she put the observations, feedback cycle, you know, my teaching journal, that kind of thing. Anything that comes up to your mind like that. Of course, I mean, you don't have to be a cook. I mean, that's my
No, I
metaphor.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, for me, it's always been. I actually have one here. We were checking. We were checking how we look before we started recording. A mirror. I know this is actually a common metaphor that people use.
Where did you find it from? By the way,
I don't know. I think it was a present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you know, on our trainer training program, we often ask people what metaphor they have in mind for teacher training, how they see it, and we do get a few metaphors related to mirror. But the way I see it as a mirror is like when you look at it, you know, it's like you don't just see what you see. For example, what do we see now? We see me, right? But as I am now, and each time I look in the mirror, for me, the different stages of my professional career has been, you know, like mirrors within mirrors. So when you look into a mirror, you know how you have, I'm sure there's an adjective for it, but I can't think of it right now. So you see another mirror, you actually see how you have grown, how you have changed. It doesn't mean necessarily, though, that you're getting bigger, because, you know, bigger doesn't necessarily mean you've grown, but you just see how you have changed and evolved over the years
stages of life.
in terms of mirror, within a mirror, within a mirror.
Ah, right. Okay, I never thought about it like that way. Thank you. Okay, can you tell us the story of SLTEP, which I enjoyed so much, and like most of the people, all of the people, in fact. And also, after the story of SLTEP, can you? The question is, what factors do you think should the PDUs at universities prioritize when they provide this service to the teachers?
When you say this service, professional development.
Yeah, professional development. First the SLTEP story and then this one.
Okay, so you'll remind me if I forget the second
yes.
question. Okay, well, SLTEP, I mean, it's a long story, but I know we have limited time. So very briefly, I actually have a chapter on this, so maybe we can give the link to colleagues later to read up on SLTEP. This was way back at Bilkent University when I first introduced a trainer training program. And it was a diploma program then. It took us a long time at the university to get it accepted, but it was accepted, and it was a formal 1-year diploma program then. And the reason why it started and why I wanted to do it was because of the need at the time. There were many people, you know, I'm not referring only to Bilkent University, many people, for example, who were doing training for the Ministry of Education, teacher training courses, training for the publishers, etc. And there was no formal trainer training course. So I thought, okay, well, we can start with our own institution. So we did. And I ran it there for 4 years. I mean, I could tell you more about it, but just in a nutshell. And then there was a request from Bilgi University to run it there, and we did. We ran a certificate program in trainer training. And then when I started working at Sabancı in 2002, a year later, we started doing the trainer training program. Well, it then took the name of Trainer Education Program as a 2-week intensive program for colleagues from outside Sabancı University. And, you know, if I do have a tree in life, so to speak, that is probably my best and lovely tree. We have grown so much, myself and my colleagues, as trainers, having done it for 10 years now. And also we have learned so much. We have grown with you. We've had wonderful, wonderful individuals like yourself joining it over the years. And what's delightful about it, what is really, really gratifying about it, is the fact that so many of you have been involved in various teacher training roles, not necessarily within, PDUs or teacher training units, but in all sorts of ways, at conferences, in several joint events with colleagues, etc. So I really appreciate that, and I feel so happy about
Yeah, we
it.
feel very happy about it too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Hocam.
Okay, I do remember your
You
second
do?
question. So
Okay.
let me rephrase it and see if I remember it correctly.
Mhm.
You're saying, for institutions to have a PDU.
Yeah, they have PDUs, and do you think
Okay.
really they are effective? Should there be PDUs or not? That's the question that I have in my mind as well, by the way. And are they effective? I mean,
well, it would be difficult for me to talk on behalf of all the PDUs because I haven't visited each one or know about each one. But I think it depends on the universities and particularly the schools or the department's mission and vision, and also their organizational structure. For example, here, because we have a very flat hierarchy, as many of our colleagues know, who know about Sabancı University and the School of Languages a little bit. We have a flat hierarchy, so we do not feel to have a unit as such. In fact, we have no units. Nice. We just have teams. For professional development, we have almost everyone involved with workshops. Okay, maybe not all of us do observations, but many people are involved in giving insets internally in service programs.
And also a new one is starting now, right?
Yes, a new one is starting. We have a Power Tech teacher training program starting this year for colleagues from outside Sabancı University.
Yeah, I would like to attend
on August 24th.
Yeah,
so
great.
Gelin arkadaşlar, we're waiting for you.
Hopefully.
And should institutions have PDU? I think it's okay to have PDUs. In fact, it's very good to have a team, of people supporting the opportunities that are available and maybe playing an active role in enhancing those opportunities. But not a team in terms of assuming like power or I'm the trainer, you're the trainee, or you're the teachers, we're the trainers. I've never believed in that. I don't think that's a useful mindset at all. So as long as it's not that sort of mindset, of course, professional development units, are wonderful to have in schools.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And if you ask last question, if you ask one question to this lovely group of T plus members, what would it be? So that they think about the question.
Okay, all right. Well, sorry I can't be there. Actually, Begüm was asking me why, would I not be able to go? But it's exam time and we've got SLTEP coming up soon. So that's why I'm not there. But hope you're enjoying the event. My question to you, let's see, T plus. T plus has come a long way. As I mentioned, was it at the one at Şehir University when where I gave a plenary. I was actually telling the group how much I appreciated the developments with T plus. Okay, maybe this is something for T plus to consider, and with well, it has to be a question. Okay, it will be a question. But with the involvement of all its members, what do you see as the longer-term mission of T plus? What to you is the longer-term mission of T plus? Where do we see T plus in, I don't know, 5 to 10 years down the line, down the road? Where would we like it to be? That's my question.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you for the interview. It was a pleasure. Okay, bye everybody.